side and the outside, and I say Roman wall because some of the wall that you see is Roman, but it's obviously been modified over the years. So that was pretty cool. It was a free museum um, from the Museum of London, and they continued building the building just around it. They just left this huge space in the middle for the Museum of London to use, and then the rest of it. There's a coffee shop, and there's all these other things, and there's it's like, okay, that's weird, but all right, it was better than tearing it down, so why not?
Very cool.
Anyway, that's what we did. It was a good time.
Well, good. I'm glad that you had fun. And let's see, on Sundays, we just sat and wept. We looked at the
Yes,
we looked at
we
the map and we just wept. Oh,
Yeah, well, I expect the Prussians wept more.
I don't know. I did the tally for the Austrians, and I'm hoping I
Hmm.
was accurate this time. I remembered to include the guy who got killed.
Right.
Um, but I ended up having something approaching. Let's see if I have it here. Oh, where did I write it down?
And just because I'm a suspicious sort, you see,
Two
I
hundred
did.
and 35 was what I had.
235 is exactly what I got for
Oh,
you. Well
hooray!
done. Well
Good.
done.
I got it right. I was going to send it
Okay.
off to Ernst and Young
Yeah.
CPA to get it,
Yeah.
just like what they do
That would have been
with the
that
Oscars,
would
make sure it's certified. But I
that would
didn't
have been a
have it.
better.
I didn't go through the Prussians, so I don't know where you guys are at.
Well, so the good news is we're less than that. The bad news is that doesn't help. And David, keep me honest. I assume you've done this too.
yeah.
I came up with 216, including the routed units.
Oh, I only came up with 206, including the routed and
Oh, now
off.
that's interesting because of course 206 is what I came up with, and then I added the 10 to it. So now here I am checking again.
Okay, let's see. So it's
120,
24 plus
133,
could be I could have
136, 206.
7,
Yeah, unless I forgot to carry something or
15,
carried something twice.
9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9. Yeah, 186. I got 186 from casualties, 10 from routed, and 10 from office. What 10 am I
Uh,
missing from? Let me see.
15, 18.
5, 10, 15, 24, 5.
So the difference is just 10 between your sums.
Yeah, which ultimately means nothing because I mean it doesn't change what column we're rolling on. It's just curious. But the fact it's exactly 10 makes me think one of us carried something and the other one didn't, or something like that. I don't know. Uh, yeah. Either way, um, 206 would be enough to put us on the far right column, even without
Mm.
216. So it doesn't matter. So so yeah. So the thing that really troubled me, and I'm just going to use my numbers just because
Mm-hmm.
they were they're what I had to hand, is you in the last hour, um, Eric,
Yep.
lost 70.
Okay.
And I'm not worrying about routed units. I'm just actual losses 70.
Sure.
Um, well, if my number's right, we actually lost 72.
Oh, wow.
And I
And
mean,
I
I
got a
guess if
bigger
David's
army.
right, then it's yeah, exactly. And
Right.
if David's right, it's 62. But even so, the point is boy, we are not making up the difference. The numbers are just getting worse. And the other way you think about that is you slipped over one column in an hour, and we moved three.
Well, no, I think I moved over. Because my column is 200 plus. Here I was thinking of 250.
Yeah,
So no. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Your
because I was
your
one. I was
your columns are
155 last time.
twice the size of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, when I was doing the math there, I was thinking, you know what? I think we're in deep kimchi here.
Well, you guys then, if that's the case, you were at the 125 column last time, and now you're at the 200 plus. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big leap.
Well, I guess I mean, it does make sense though. Let's say we both moved about 70.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that's one column for you, unless you're really unlucky,
Right.
right? You're right at the top of one column. That would be two columns potentially, but it's basically one.
Right.
But if we moved 70, well, that's at least two and
Yeah.
maybe three. In this case, I think it was three.
Because it looks like there's a basically 25
Hmm.
loss points separate each of your columns, while 50 does for me.
Yeah, and actually, your first two, I guess, are 75, but after that, they become 50,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess our first one is uh, is 50, and then they go to 25 after that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway, that's
I well, let's see.
you're still trying to figure the number out, huh?
No, I'm looking at the. Am I looking at which chart are we using? I'm using the
I have the one that
printed.
we printed out
Yeah,
from
that's
the
the one.
thing.
That's from the website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so don't use the chart that's
Right,
in
and
the
that's what I
module.
thought. Yeah, that's what I thought the one I got, but maybe not.
Uh, um, oh, that's not what I want. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Files. Let's see.
Oh yeah, they are different, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like the stuff that's in the module probably is I would presume maybe the original stuff.
I would guess so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would guess that's probably the one that came with the as published game, and it looks like it's a little. I mean, I guess the columns are the same, but there's more granularity now. It looks like each column includes a +3 result and a +7 result, where the before it was 0, 5, or +10.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this was the first game published in the series,
it
as I
was.
recall. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and it may have been that and I don't know exactly when Matthew got involved.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if maybe they had kind of moved to maybe more of what we kind of think of as this modern model before he took over. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know, or because now I'm going to have to go back and look at Zorndorf, which was number two.
Ah, okay.
See if it also used this model. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think any state secrets, right? I think this is, from a competitive perspective, the weakest part of the game, because so much hinges on very few die rolls. Um, so more granularity is probably good.
Yes.
A little bit softer edges around this one very important die roll.
Although I wonder
Um,
if the victory conditions were modified given that, because remember when I guess with Prague was with the updated version 3 rules.
yeah, it
And so
certainly was. Yeah,
therefore trying to, because we played that all the way to the end of the scenario, and we're like, okay, well
right.
that was fun. And we didn't achieve anything.
Didn't
you
didn't
know?
manage to
Yeah.
get anything done. Yeah, yeah.
So with this one, I was just wondering, like, it's you got to get the people up to 20 or 30,
Right.
thing, and I'm just like, okay, well, I guess if you rolled really badly, but I guess if you were using this older system that's a little bit more draconian. Um,
Oh, well, it's not really that it's more draconian. It's just that instead of having 5 possible results, there's only 3.
right.
So, I mean, it's the average. The average result is exactly the same. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the shape of the curve is different.
Right.
Um, but no, I think really what caused the tie in Prague was pretty simple. It was we didn't attack early enough to cause enough army morale rolls to happen.
Right.
And because we didn't attack early enough, it wasn't possible for either one of us to roll badly enough to cause either one of us to win. I mean, that
Right.
was how I read it. And so, okay, shame on me. I guess next time I'll attack more vigorously and maybe lose, but maybe win. I mean, at least there's a chance.
Right.
So, yeah. Now, here, as I recall, the victory conditions are really complex.
Right. They have to
Um,
do with, having a certain amount of forces in a certain area on the battlefield and
right.
having the Austrians on a certain level while the Prussians aren't also on a similar
Prussians aren't.
level,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of a
It's
thing.
but it's one of those things that I end up using a lot of tile spacers on the map to remind myself where those things are.
Yeah.
Where the different levels are. And I think in this case, it's not going to make any difference. Um, so what is it? Austrian decisive is Prussian morale must be at 25 or more. There must be there must be fewer than 50 Prussian infantry, artillery, or 60 Prussian cavalry SPs in any condition south of the Kaiserstrasse, and Austrian army morale cannot be over 20. So we're clearly not there yet, but obviously, we've got how much more time is there on the clock?
Well, I don't know. This is 6 o'clock. Does it go to 9 o'clock? When
We
does
got
it go?
3 more hours, and I think maybe there's a 9 o'clock turn based upon what the turn track looks
Yeah,
like.
it's
So it looks like
the 9 o'clock turn is the
3 hours
last
and
one that it's listing. I don't know if we
right.
have
So
then twilight or something like that, some sort of
no,
rules
I
for
don't
this.
see that actually. I at
Okay.
least on the turn chart, I don't see it, and I don't remember it. I mean, Chris, remember this is like near the winter or the summer solstice,
Yeah, yeah.
as memory serves. So probably it would have been very late. So yeah, 10 more turns. Yeah. Um, Austrian marginal is just preventing type of Prussian victory, and the Austrian morale can't be more than 25.
And I think that was the
Uh,
historic, probably that was the historic one.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
Prussian army morale must be 25 or more, and there must be fewer than 40 or 40 in any condition on or south of the CE 3400 hex row. Where's 34?
34.
Oh, that's
That's here,
kind
isn't
of
it?
right where that village is, isn't it?
Yeah, Kretschkor over
Uh,
here.
the little village.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
that's
one. Yeah, yeah,
34.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of
Okay.
stretching from here to
Right.
Kretschkor. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so what's that saying? Must be fewer than 40 infantry, artillery, and 40 Prussian cavalry in any condition on or south of that hex row. And Austrian morale can't be over 20. Huh. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, obviously, it all depends on the die roll. I mean,
Yeah,
if you roll badly enough and we roll goodly enough, then that could affect it. We'll
that's
see.
right. We could just start
Yeah.
getting Zorndorf out right now.
We well, once I sat and did the counting, I was like, maybe Zorndorf sooner than we thought. We'll see.
Well, and that would maybe explain that one fella, Kirk, 1917 or whatever his handle is, who was basically saying that this one is damn near impossible for the Prussians to win.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at it, I mean, you've blown a hole in my line, but in the process, yeah, you took a lot of damage,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
so then the question
And,
is,
and the odds just keep getting worse.
yeah,
As you go, even if we take the same losses, back and forth, the ratio gets worse and worse and worse between us.
yeah. So okay, well, now we roll for that army morale to see how many pluses get added to our
Right.
thing.
Right. And just refresh my memory because I keep playing too darn many games. Whoa, Frederick is +5, and Dawn is +3.
So I
Is that right?
thought that Dawn. I thought that
Yeah.
Dawn. Yeah, he's +3.
Right. We're at the top of a new hour, so
Right.
it's all fresh points that we can spend. So
Right.
you can spend as much as 1. We can spend as much as 3,
Yep.
and and then use that to modify the die roll.
Right. Well, I'm not. No secrets from me. I'm going to spend at least that 1 point to try to
Yeah, I mean, there's not
do
much
it.
mystery for you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean, you might as well because let's see, you're on the middle column.
I'm on the 200 plus
Yeah,
column.
yeah. So if you roll bad enough, and yeah, that it reduces by half your chance of that +10 result if you
Yeah.
use the 1 point. It definitely seems worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then from our perspective, we could do as much as -3, and boy, we'd better, because even that's going to leave us rolling very similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. So
Where
that's
a 9 would
yeah.
still get us a +10.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and from the point of view of how, so we never really got into this with Prague because we never really got very badly dinged up.
yeah,
But here it's like, okay, right now you're at a +7 on your stuff. I'm at a +3. If
right.
suddenly I get like another +7 or whatever, and now I'm at a +10, I mean, trying to get my guys to do anything or pass anything becomes a lot more challenging. Same thing
Yeah.
if yours goes up. I mean, because that's
Oh, yeah.
that's that's a percentage point
Right.
for each extra plus on
You bet.
on the morale checks.
You bet.
So
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, as the day wears on, it gets harder and harder to do very much.
yeah,
Yeah, it absolutely does. And yet, just from your perspective as a La Bataille player, since we're on a base 100 here, the number isn't as big as you think it is.
true.
I mean, it definitely
yeah,
becomes a hindrance as
Yeah.
time goes on. Obviously, if both of us got a +10, it's going to be sting both of us pretty hard.
right.
Because even though our troops are nominally better, of course, we've got a bigger burden we're carrying. And so, yeah, it means even good troops you can't really count on, and not good troops really kind of hopeless.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, let me just I just called up my my last play of the game. It was from February of 2022, and I'm reading from my report there. In the end, the Austrian right flank was completely destroyed by the Prussian cavalry, and the army morale difference was massive, +12 to +25.
Wow.
Losses were 230 for the Prussians, but 388 for the Austrians.
Oh my gosh.
A big Prussian victory. So that was my experience, but obviously I didn't play as well as you did as the Austrians. So there we have that.
Well, did you move the Austrians over to their right, like what happened historically, or was it a case where you?
I would have to go.
Oh, okay.
I would have to go back, and I mean, I've got photographs that I took. The description I leave here is Prussians tried a wide sweep around the Austrian right flank, and the Austrians agreed to engage the Prussian cavalry in order to buy time for the substantial Austrian reinforcements to arrive. As it happened, the Austrians got badly chewed up for their trouble, and the remaining cavalry weren't able to hold off the Prussian cavalry once the Austrians had withdrawn to a new defensive line. To make things interesting, Bevern decided an attack against the Austrian left because he was tired of having his troops under the Austrian 12-pounders. That sounds familiar. His initial assault was quite successful, and Prussian cavalry broke through to exploit the gap, but by now Colorado's large infantry wing was in the area and were able to plug the gap. Bevern's forces were spent and only able to maintain a line in being while the rest of the Prussian infantry came forward to attack further along the Austrian line, and yeah, and I'm sure I've got pictures of it somewhere. But that was what happened there. Certainly the 12 pounders weren't any fun. Remember that.
Right.
Um, but oh boy, where is it? I should have pictures here somewhere.
Just
Oh, I
curious.
got an idea.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling.
Your problem is you post too much stuff to the Consim forum.
No, I'm on Board Game Geek.
Oh, okay. That's where you posted it. That's cool.
That's where this was. Yeah. It's really gratifying to see all these old games. Oh, come on, that can't be right. I must be missing some pictures here. Because this is definitely Kolin here. All right. Well, I'm gonna share these pictures just for laughs. I'm gonna share them on Discord so you can see them at least. And where am I? I'm clicking on share my screen.
Okay. Here we go.
Something should be coming up there.
Yep, I saw a little thing saying watch something.
Okay. So this was right there. This was the initial setup. Now, one thing that was fundamentally different is I was playing this obviously with the physical game, so I only had 2 maps. I didn't have the west map.
Right.
Which obviously we have here. So just so you understand, we're looking at the junction
map,
between the center and west maps there.
Right.
And obviously this is the initial setup. And then if I'm clicking the wrong way. We're going to try clicking the other way. Okay. This is the initial Prussian attack, and you can see that I'm moving Austrian forces here.
Right.
And you can see that the cavalry battle went very differently over there.
Right. Yeah.
The Austrians really got blown back. Probably didn't get quite as shredded taking the village. Don't think I did anyway. One thing I'm pretty sure I probably wasn't as mindful of is the sunken roads. You've already seen me complain that I was having a hard time telling the sunken roads from the not sunken roads.
Right.
And it's possible that I was giving the Prussians a free pass.
Right, moving across
when I shouldn't have. Yeah, not sure about that, but it seems plausible at least. And so that's the 3 p.m. overview.
Right. Yeah,
And
I think by 3 p.m. I'd gotten over to I'd extended my line across the hill over to the oak grove or over the trees.
Right. Now, the one thing that maybe is subtly different is that since I was playing the scenario with only 2 maps, I was having to wait for reinforcements to arrive according to the time chart.
Ah, interesting.
I wasn't free to move them whenever I wanted to. The guys that were on the west map weren't even available to me. It's possible that people were arriving a little later than you had them arrive. Don't know that, but it's possible. And then, this is actually the same time. It's 3 p.m. It's just a close-up on the eastern flank.
The cavalry action.
Yeah, and yeah, you can just see that. I guess M and H both got shot up pretty bad.
Yeah.
In the course of all this.
Well, and they got shot up in our game too, so they're not exactly doing fantastic, but at least they're still there.
I think David had some kind of heartbreaker die rolls that did not help matters.
Yeah, he's had some ones that were really good, and he's had a few that have helped me in some slight way. So Cool.
And for some reason, I don't know why, I'm not seeing the rest of them, but I know they're here, so I'm not sure what the problem is, but
Mm.
whatever. Anyway, um, there, I'm going to stop streaming. I am probably going to look for that though, because now I'm really annoyed. Where did my pictures go? Um, but yeah. So yeah, you see how bad it can get. And by the way, and this I think has come up in the past
Right.
and may come up here depending on how situation goes. But there's um, there's an optional rule that really comes into play around now, because you think about it, it doesn't really benefit the Austrians especially to cause more casualties to the Prussians in this case. I mean, the Prussians are already at the farthest right column, and that seems weird, right?
Right.
So there's an optional rule. And the optional rule basically says, imagine that there's a series of columns that continue off to the right,
Right.
and I try to remember how they're defined. I thought I had the optional rules right here. Um, I don't know if is it plus 50? Where? Oh, I know I have those darn rules.
Yeah, I know you read it to us at one point.
Yeah.
But basically, the idea is that there's still some sort of penalty. So if you got up to
Yeah.
225 or
Exactly,
250,
right.
then things get even
So,
more nasty.
yeah, here we go. Army morale, page 5. Um, and so, but the interesting part about it is he doesn't say just keep making the columns the same width as they had been.
Right.
He specifies for every 50 points of losses
Mm-hmm.
that an army has sustained beyond the army's maximum loss level, +1 is added to the army's roll for that army morale check.
Right. So you're basically still on the same table, but
Yeah,
you just
it's
have a
just
+1, and then that
yeah,
offsets maybe whatever other -1 or whatever you do
yeah, exactly.
with your leader.
But the funny part is that it actually gives us a little bit of a break in that we wouldn't have to roll until 250
Right. Right.
because it's just fixed as 50. And I'm actually not really a huge fan of that, because different games have got different numbers of units, right? So 50 is a funny number. It probably works for a lot of the games, but I mean, obviously it would work for yours because
Right.
yours are
Because we've
50
been going
now.
up by 50 now. Yeah.
Right.
So
Anyway, whatever. It's all good. So, all right. Well, David, can you think of any reason why we don't use all three?
No.
I mean, it means we will have no advantage on initiative rolls, which
Right.
is honestly problematic. I'm not thrilled about having um, no benefit there, and yet, I mean, that is not delightful to be at only -2 on the die roll with a chance of very bad things happening.
all right. Here goes the Austrians.
All
A
right.
5. That's modified down to a 4.
That's a very middle of the road sort of number there for you, brother.
Yeah, so that's going to give me a +5 on
Plus
the roll.
5.
Am I right?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I
5.
think so.
Yep.
I
So
should
now
have a
I'm
pencil
out
here
to
somewhere.
+8.
Right. 1800 plus 5 plus 8. Okay. Shoot. I don't know. What do you think, David? You were thinking 3?
Yep.
Oh, we're screwed anyway. What difference does it make? So, all right.
Roll a 9, and you'll have been wise to make that decision.
No, actually, if we roll a 9, it didn't help us at all.
Oh, okay.
That's the bad part.
Oh,
Prussian roll -3. All right. David, you want to do the honors? You want me to do the
No,
honors?
I did it last time, if I remember, and I didn't do so good.
Okay. And we've been blaming you ever since, right?
Yeah, Frederick, it's your turn.
It's time for the king to do it.
So this is this is the lonely at the top here.
Exactly. It's vassal. You just blame
That's all right.
blame somebody else for it.
I'll
You're
just
gonna roll.
blame.
Yeah, you're gonna roll a 0 or a 1 or a 2, so that's
Yeah.
no problem. So,
If I roll high enough, then we
You
can
get
just
a
get
3,
Zorndorf out right now.
A 6, that becomes a 3. So that was actually
Oh.
good, right?
Oh, well, yeah, sort of.
It brought you down. Well, you would have gone down anyway. So you're
See,
at a
that's the
plus
thing.
7.
Even if we'd done as little as a -1,
Right.
it would have been the same result. So
All right,
now we're
now
at plus 14. And he's at plus 8. Oh, did I keep clicking that button?
You did. You're trying to get a better number.
Well, and some of them were. Yeah. That's weird. I don't know what that was. Okay. Wow. Well, interesting. So I would say that
Okay, so before we get started, there was one
Yeah.
little bit of housekeeping here on the center. I've got this infantry and artillery stacked, and I don't know with stuff going on, the artillery should be unlimbered, but if I don't know if I flipped them over or was flipping units or what.
No, I remember we had this conversation. They didn't have enough movement points to be able to limber when they moved in there, because we actually had a conversation about could they be in there and be limbered, and the answer is yes, they can, because of the optional rule we're using.
Okay.
It lets them be limbered but still facing a vertex, so they could actually be in a hex with infantry. And I remember it was one of those, I'd like to do this. No, I just don't have enough points.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm glad that you remember, because I looked at it and I'm like, well, what happened here? And then I looked at the rules and I'm like, well, they're supposed to be unlimbered if they're there with the infantry. So,
yeah.
All right, no worries.
That's right. In the standard rules, that is true. And of course,
Right.
the other thing is, I mean, if you had them unlimbered, they'd be on top.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't be much reason to have them unlimbered and underneath. So
Right. And so that's why I was, as I said, it's been, well, whenever those guys moved, it's probably been a month and a half. so whenever that was. So I just thought I would bring that up so we could figure it out before anything else happens. So, okay, we'll just leave it as is.
Yeah, I think they're fine as they are.
Okay, cool.
And so let's see. I think the time clock is in its correct location.
Yep.
And who's
you
that?
You do get somebody back. You do get Panwitz, maybe? Is that it?
Panwitz, yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't come back properly until his formation activates, but it is good to remember that is out there. Okay, well, I mean, I guess we do have a little bit of excitement that we could engage this turn and just see what happens. And if we decide we want to keep on going, we can. But I think from a competitive perspective, I think the woman with the big horns on her helmet has come out and started singing.
You really think so?
I do.
Okay. I mean, you've got more experience with this than I do, but you don't have much here to exploit the gap. That's the only thing that I'm looking at.
Exactly.
And I potentially can plug the gap. Mm-hmm. And I've got all this other stuff over here to kind of deal with this. So so then the question is, do you just move these guys, just move them here to try to get them in the gap?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's the direction they've kind of been headed, right? And the trouble is just everything's just taking so long. And as we can see, once units get into contact, they get ground up pretty fast.
Right.
And so you really need to have the remaining forces need to be quite nearby in order to be able to take advantage. And yeah, I mean, I think the problem is there's just not enough stick behind the spearhead,
Okay.
right? So there's not anything to apply enough additional pressure. Um, I think what really got me was recognizing that either we had just a few more losses or just a few less than you in the last hour.
Right.
Because you're right. Looking at the map, it's like, yeah, there's been a lot of damage to the Austrian line there. So you think, aha. But on the other hand, we all know that there's been a lot of casualties from defensive fire and
Right.
all the artillery opportunity fire. There's been a lot of damage done to the attacking units in the process. So yeah, I don't know, man. And every time I throw something in there to try to improve the situation, all I feel like I'm doing is sticking my head farther and farther into the noose. I mean, that cavalry I did last turn, these guys
Right.
here, I mean, that was supposed to help, and I guess it kind of did.
Right.
But now what? Right now, these guys are right there in front of them. These guys are right there. I mean, these guys are now not in a great situation, and it's not like there's any infantry to come up and form up behind them,
Right.
in order to let them get out of the way and have the infantry carry the battle on. So I mean, I think we're in deep kimchi.
Well, the Austrians, being the Austrians, can roll some truly catastrophic, horrible things. And your kimchi suddenly becomes cotton candy. So I wouldn't count the Austrians out to,
I think it's probably more accurate to say that the kimchi would be shallower, would not be quite as deep.
It's okay. It's not going to be sweet, but it will be a little. Instead of 10 feet deep, you're only 8 feet deep. Okay.
That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So.
Okay.
But I mean, if nothing else, it will be interesting just to see how things resolve here at the point of contact, because it's not like I mean, I guess short of just doing voluntary routes and getting the hell out of Dodge. I mean, well, I can't even do that until you may get the first activation, get to blast some of these guys.
Well,
so it'd be just interesting to see how it resolves. So I
could
don't know.
be, that could be gratifying. Well, why don't you go ahead and throw a pair of dice and see what we get?
All right. And it's all even up.
Yep.
And we'll
So
see
what we see is what we get. Oh, that's a big one for the Prussians.
It's a wing if the Prussians won it. All right.
First big decision of the turn.
Yeah, and this is usually where the game comes grinding to a halt. You haven't looked at the game in a month, and it's like, oh no, I have to activate? No!
You can just pass the activation to me if you'd like.
Oh, you know I could.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
I know exactly what to do. You've just told me, oh, why don't you shoot at your cavalry that's right next to you?
All right. Well, David, you got any ideas?
Well, I don't see much use for a wing for me.
Yeah.
Zeaton's wing, only half of it's in command, and
oh yeah, I bet that's true because he's way the heck out of the way, isn't he?
Zeaton ended up retreating with
right
a routed unit there, and
right. So not much interesting there. Okay.
Who's the other one? The other one's Trescow, and he is not in much better shape than. So I don't have a wing.
Okay.
But do you have a prayer?
That's
a wing
questionable
and a prayer,
too, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Okay.
who else do you have then? Bevern would be yours.
No, no. Oh yeah, Bevern would be mine if
Yeah,
that's what you were saying. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, so if David doesn't have any wings,
Right, right.
then
Yeah.
it's either Penavere, and I don't know where he's at, or Bevern. But at least Bevern, well, he's got some infantry out here. It looks like. But where's the rest of his stuff? That's Manstein, Panwitz, and Puttkamer.
Yeah. Uh, plus 14. I keep thinking to myself, plus 14.
It could have been worse. It could be plus 17, right? I guess if you'd rolled a 9, right, it would have added 10.
Yeah, yeah.
That
It
would
could
have
have
been
been
really brutal.
plus 17. Boy.
Penavere's got Puttkamer and Panwitz in command.
Well, and Manstein is too, right? Isn't this Manstein here? I
Yes.
mean, Manstein doesn't have much. He's only got a couple of units from the looks of it.
Yeah, he's got other units that are out of command.
He's not in command. He's not in range of Penavere though.
No, it's not Penavere. It's Bevern. Bevern is the wing commander for the infantry. He's right here.
Oh, so only okay.
And so
yeah, but that means Ponvitz. Oh, but Ponvitz is the one coming back, isn't he?
Yeah. Ponvitz is the one that's coming back.
Oh, but I don't really know if that makes a lot of sense because I mean, so truth is, I could put Ponvitz on any one of the units of his command. Doesn't have to be where the replacement leader is. However, I don't really know if it makes a whole lot of sense to put him any further back towards Bevern.
No, because it looks like most of his units. I mean, aren't these guys his?
Yeah. I mean, his units are all the ones up front, right? So, I mean, even if I wanted to set him closer back to Bevern, it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it's not really a very effective wing there either.
So then which brigade do you guys want to activate then?
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to. Two, three, four. So, I could do KR.
Where's KR?
Well, the leader himself is right here. Okay. He's responsible for these units here, and here, and what there too? Is that? Yeah, that's one of his. And I think that's it. I don't think he's got any others.
Well, this guy's KR over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's that?
What's left of this guy?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's within command range. It looks like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Can you trace command through another unit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's no limit there.
Okay. Yeah. Lavatai, they're like, no, you can't do that. So.
No, and that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Good times.
Well, these are your best guys, aren't they? These are a bunch of your cuirassiers.
They really are. They're pretty powerful. But now what do I do with them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, what the heck? I guess I'll activate them. I mean, otherwise we're just going to sit here and talk all night. So So sure, he's in reach of the king, so I don't need to roll for him. That's marvelous. Um, I will go ahead and well, first of all, I don't think I have anybody I need to undisorder. No, doesn't look like it. I believe everybody's in command. Yes, they are.
Yep, yep,
So far so good.
yep.
And just looking back there, nope. All right. So then we'll just go to movement, and I will go ahead and move him line back up there. That's going to cost some 3 to do that. And there'll be some op fire availability from your second line back there.
Oh, okay. So from these two guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've
Each of
got,
them.
well, what is it? I've got 4 times 2. So that's 8 plus 8.
Yeah, be,
Right, so
be
16.
1.5 to 1. It's going to be -5 for size.
Because there's not much left of you. So,
That's right.
okay, well, let's see what we roll. Here we go.
Yeah.
A 92. So that's an op fire. That's enough. That's at least one hit, right? It looks like. Because it's a minus. Did you say -5?
Oh yeah, I mean it's at 1.5 to 1, so it's definitely a hit.
Yeah, it's
So
a
yeah,
hit.
so he's vaporized.
Oh, there was only one increment left. Okay.
Yeah.
You probably should have voluntarily routed him, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
I
I
probably
got
should have.
Well, would he still gotten a
No,
shot?
no, voluntary route, you don't get any op
Yeah,
fire.
I learned that the hard way by
Yeah.
not voluntarily routing because I
Yeah.
hadn't finished reading that part of the rule.
You're right. I
And
probably
I
should
had
have
a
the unit.
7 increment, beautiful cavalry unit just
Yeah.
get completely shredded.
Yeah, and he was kind of worthless anyway, so probably would have made more sense. Okay. Um
Yeah, and their morale is good enough, isn't it? I mean, I think those cuirassiers were in the teens, weren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all.
So
Although obviously,
even with your plus whatever, they can recover.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they could recover, but on the other hand, it's like who cares, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that it would take quite a while for them to run off the board, and so you got a pretty good chance of them recovering at some point and just hovering around in the back because they're really they're not very useful for much else.
right.
Otherwise, you're just giving points to the enemy for no good reason. So all of that said, I think. Oh, do I not have the rules sitting right here? I thought I did. By not doing it, I may have actually screwed myself out of the ability to do it because I think everybody who voluntary routes has to go first.
Oh, well, we're not going to stand on tradition here. It's more than a few times that we have oh, that leader got carried away with the routing units. Oh, well, let's move him back to where he was.
Yeah.
So it's a friendly game. And remember, you're teaching me how to play, so.
Well, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, all right.
So is it a case where they have to do it first?
Yes, it is. I just checked.
So then we will know to do that for the future.
Right.
When I voluntarily route the entire Austrian army.
Yes.
What a deal.
That is a deal.
Okay. All right. So if I do that, then I'm going to go. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that probably that's the right thing to do for this guy because otherwise he's just going to get blasted.
Yeah.
So if I do that, just leave him like that. And then I'm going to do, inevitably, I'm going to go the wrong direction because that's just how the game works. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 4, 5. All right. So I will just put him there. And then what do I do with this fella? Now he's in op charge range of that guy. So him running might not be a bad idea either.
Yeah, because I can't opportunity charge you if you voluntarily route.
If I voluntary route. So, and that's probably a better solution than anything else I got, because the light cavalry behind me can't help because they're disordered.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll do that here too. All right, so we'll go ahead and how did I do that? I got mad skills, man. Mad skills. 2, 4. Now, actually,
you just increased its casualties too, because I thought it only.
Oh, you're right. I did. Huh?
Because it had 3 increments left.
Yeah, it did. You're right. I don't know how I managed it, but I've got skills that are frankly hard to explain. Well, I guess that's the only place I can really go, which is too bad because he's now out of command, but that's life. Okay. All right. And
why? Is there a reason why you couldn't have gone this way?
Yeah, there were reasons he couldn't have ended up one.
Well, I mean, I'm taking the approach that, and I mean, happy to go look, but it's like, to me, it's still a route. And
oh yeah, I suppose if he's there, then he would be blocking the guns if you move this guy out of the way at some point later. Right.
Well, actually, if we were going to do that, he'd be there anyway. Okay. Right? Because it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So,
okay.
All right.
So it's not a problem.
Started here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So that's good. Okay. Well then, I think that's going to be it. I don't think I have any urgent need to change anybody else's position. So I'm just going to go ahead and take one free shot here. I don't think I'm going to have Krakow join him. I will go ahead and move Krakow just to try to help. No, I think I'm going to leave him exactly where he is. Yeah, all right. So we're going to go in. It's going to be at plus 14.
There we go.
By golly, we're going in, or not.
Or not.
Yeah, because they're good, but they're not that good.
Oh, they are good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it seemed like a chance worth taking.
Yeah, no, because this guy over here would have been the target, right? He's half dead and disordered.
Sure, half dead and disordered. It was easy pickings. Yeah. That's what I.
Yeah. Now, if you had put Krakow on him, he would have gone in.
Yeah, but then
But then, right? Yeah.
Then Krakow's up there, and the rest of the outfit is out of command. I just it wasn't worth it to my way of thinking. But whatever. I figured those guys were good enough. I should have been able to expect them to go in anyway without him, but
Yep.
oh well.
Well, you had a,
All right.
Preca's a pretty lousy leader too.
had a almost
Oh
75,
wow. Yeah,
70 some percent.
well, he adds a. Is it a -6 on the roll? That would have helped a
Yeah,
little
minus
bit.
six
Yeah.
on the roll. Yeah, yeah. So all right, well that's all we got for that.
All right.
Good
My turn to
times. I guess
roll.
it's your roll.
Hey,
Yeah.
we went from a
No,
17 to a 71.
no, that's not good.
That is fun, fun, fun. That means I could potentially have a wing activation. And I
Is that
actually have a wing.
oh
Yeah. I mean, I think my number for Dawn is, I thought it was, what's it? Where is it here or is it somewhere else on a different chart? Is it on
it's on
Dawn or is it on?
it is on him, yeah.
I just see a
Um,
+3, +1, -10. So is it actually? So it
what-
doesn't look like it's on his counter. Is it on a chart somewhere?
oh,
where it
you're
says
right.
what
It's
he is?
not. My bad. My bad.
So it says 7 in parentheses next to his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. All right. So a wing if you want it.
A wing if I want it. So the only wing that I've got sort of handy, and I don't even know if everyone is, would be Colorado, who is here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sincere is in command. Puebla is in command. Oh, interesting. I might be able to do something, I guess, with those guys. Let's see. ST is another option. Well, the line is all messed up here between ST and SI. I really can't do anything terribly coordinated, so I will instead activate. I will activate. Who else could I do? I could do Nadajdi, couldn't I? And he's in command. The only one who's not in command that's part of Nadajdi is. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, everyone is, including the skirmishers. Well, we'll wait for a better opportunity. Okay, I'm going to activate Sincere. And so everyone I believe is in command. He's in command 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think everybody that's part of Sincere's group is in command for the moment.
Okay.
I'm also going to activate these Grenzers that are out here by this village.
Okay.
So they get their shots in before stuff. And I think I will activate this 6-pound gun so it gets a shot in before something unfortunate happens to it.
Sure.
Which seems to be the story of my life sometimes. So I guess I don't think any of Sincere's guys are disordered from the looks of it. No, so they all look like they're in good shape. So I guess we would go to the shooting part now.
Yeah.
So let's go over here to the Grenzers that are out here by the village, and they can do their Grenzy thing first. So let's add up these two. So that's going to be 3 and 4. That's going to be 20 to 15. That's a 1-to-1 shot. So here we go. 62 at 1-to-1 is nothing. Okay. Then we've got these two guys will fire on that chap. So that's going to be 1 and 3. So it's going to be 15. 15 to 10, 1.5 to 1. And then is it shifted because I'm firing in on your flank? Was that what?
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a 2 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 to 1. And you've got 3 increments left, so that's going to be a -5. So 2 to 1 with a -5. And that's going to be a miss. So much for all of that excitement.
There we go.
But I figured I'd do it now before you shot at me.
Sure, why not?
Well, everything else has gotten pretty static on that end of the universe, so.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're back over to Sincere and all those fun people. So let's have the guns fire first.
Okay.
So they're it's basically point blank range.
Yeah.
So times 7, so that's going to be 14. 14 to 10.
All right.
Okay.
Straight
so
up 1 to 1.
1 to 1, and there doesn't seem to be pluses or minuses. Here we go.
Yeah.
62 at 1 to 1.
No.
That
didn't work last time either.
Nope, that's okay.
Right.
Now, after he fires, I could prolong him. Is that correct? He's an F3
Well, you
person?
need to do all your fire combat first.
Oh, okay.
You've got other units that can fire,
Oh,
so you
okay,
really should
okay.
do all of it.
So we won't mark him as finished just yet. Okay. All right. Then I've got this guy who's part of Sincere. He can
Right.
fire on this guy who is shaken.
Right.
And
So-
so that's going to be, what is my fire times 3? So it's going to be 12.
So 1 to 1, but it's going to be a +10 for size.
Okay. 1 to 1 with a +10. Here we go. So that's going to be a 97.
It's
So
gonna be
that
another
is
hit.
1 hit and
So
nothing
it
else.
won't be another large target next time.
Yep.
See how clever I am?
Indeed. All right, then I guess these 2 guys can fire on this cavalry, right? It's at a
Okay.
range of 2, so that's going to be 4, 8, 16, 16 to 10, so 1.5 to 1.
And it's going to be +10 for size.
So, oh yeah, because you've got 8 increments. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a big miss. All right, and then I think we've got this guy here can fire. No, is he ST or is he SI?
No, he's SI.
He's SI.
He is,
Okay,
yeah.
so he can fire here. So
Right.
that's going to be then 12, a 1 to 1 shot on those guys. No pluses or minuses. 67 at 1 to 1 is
Not enough.
Okay. All right. And then I think
Okay.
finally we got this guy here. He can fire there. And that should be.
No, you don't want to fire there.
Oh, no. Oh, you're right. That's my guy.
I mean, you can fire there. You absolutely
Plenty
can.
of friendly fire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, but then we can fire, I guess, on the cavalry, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be then 4, 8, 8
Right.
to 8 to 10. So it's
Right.
1 to 1.5, and you've got 6, 12 increments there. So
Right.
+15.
Okay.
So here we go. A 0-5.
Uh-oh.
Oh, something
Special result. 0-5.
Infantry fire. Battalion guns.
Reroll.
Add 1 to the SP loss or RD result. Okay. So we'll just reroll and see what we get. And
Yeah.
we're adding so it's only if there's a loss.
Yes, that's right.
Or RD results. So if I get an R, then it's going to be a 1 hit.
Yeah, if you get the
Okay.
R result, it would
Okay.
also be it would actually be a 1 instead of just an
Okay.
R.
So 26
R.
plus 15 is going to be
41, not going to be
41.
enough.
And nope, that is a miss. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think that's all my firing.
I think it is. Yep. So
Okay.
now it's time to move.
So now it
Whoever
is
wants to
time to
move.
move. Terribly
Okay.
exciting stuff. So now what we want to do is I'm going to have this guy here move right there. And I guess the question is, do you want to
Upcharge him.
upcharge me or not?
Of course I do.
Okay. Go ahead and roll, I guess.
Okay. I don't think he's going
25
to go.
minus 14 is going to be an 11.
Okay, that's 21 and
Oh, he's a good.
oh, that's right. This is the really good replacement leader. He's actually better than the original. So the unit's a 21,
Mm-hmm.
and I get minus 12 total for the leader,
Okay.
and then plus 14, so it's a total of plus 2. So 23 is actually the number I was trying to reach.
Okay. And so what's his morale?
Oh, no, he's a 21.
Oh, okay. Then the 23 is good enough to do it.
Yeah, because it was basically 21 plus 2 was the calculation. So I rolled a 25. Actually, I was really worried I was going to make a habit out of this screwing up here.
Okay, cool.
Now, actually, doesn't that occur before he actually leaves that hex?
Yeah, that's actually where it happens.
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Cool.
Yeah. Hold on. I should double check. Actually, no, that wouldn't work. Because there would have been another plus 10 for being outflanked because there was an enemy unit in my flank. So he fails.
Ah, okay. That's probably
So
why
he
it's good to
stays
look at
there.
the chart. So then
You
my
move
guy
up.
moves up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Well, that's kind of how things work, I guess.
Well, I mean, it really is. I mean, that's where the plus 14 starts to really.
Yeah, starts to make
Right.
itself presence felt.
Because it's like, would that plus 10 have mattered otherwise? Well, no. But in this case, it did because it's in conjunction with all the other pluses that the plus 14 really kills you.
Right.
So, all right.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
that movement. What else?
So then I thought I would try moving this guy into that hex.
Sure.
So do you then have a chance to opportunity charge him or not? Because now you have somebody in your front face.
Well, this guy could upcharge if he actually moves into that hex.
Oh, if he moves there, you mean? Right. So he
No.
would move up there
No.
if I move there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. That would be a reaction I could do. Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to move there.
All right. Then I'll go ahead and try to upcharge and see if I can keep rolling 20s.
Well,
Oh,
you're
I'm
close.
getting better. I'm really getting better. Look at this. Okay. 21 plus 14 is 35, and there are no modifiers this time. So, Okay. All right. So there we go. The odds are lousy, but that's just how it goes. I figure if nothing else, I just route away.
Cool. All right. So then I need to roll for my guy to stand. Is
That's
that correct?
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
That's right.
26. He's going to be disordered or shaken, right?
Oh, shaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a leader there with him, even though he's not his.
Well, let's see. Oh, wow. He's a
Holy moly.
11. He's really good.
So that takes you down to 21, but then you've got your plus, what, 8
Plus
for
11?
your army morale?
Oh, yeah. Plus 8.
Yeah, so he is still shaken, even though, boy, that's a really good leader.
Yeah, I had no idea. Starnberg. So, a 26 and I just have a minus. Oh, yeah, so it's a difference of 6. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got
Okay.
a -3 to your
Yeah.
die roll overall.
Right. Okay, cool.
But yeah, yeah.
All right. So, but I still get to
Close.
shoot at you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's mark
that's
him
gonna be
as shaken.
1-to-1. Looks like a +10 is the only modifier you're going to get for defensive fire.
All right, here we go. 82 plus 10
big hit.
becomes 92. That's going to be a hit.
Okay.
Right.
Hit, a disorder check, and a morale check. So we will roll the disorder check first. How y'all feeling about Zorndorf? And then we'll roll the morale check. How do y'all feel about Zorndorf? Okay, so this is the blind leading the blind, leading the deaf, leading the dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's in terrible shape.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got 1 strength point because I'm disordered.
Right, and I've got 3 strength points.
No, you got 6.
Oh, I got
you're
6.
Not,
oh, because I'm not half.
Right.
Okay.
So, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to result in DRMs.
Right, because it's now a 1 to 6 odds instead of a 1 to 3 odds, right?
Right. So it's going to be for each full ratio below 1 to 3, the defender adds 1 to his die roll. So it's going to be +3 to your die roll after we figure everything else out.
Okay.
I'm half dead, so I'm really only a +3 printed value in the first place. And, all right, so +3, +2 for heavy cavalry, so that's 5, +1 for 1 charge movement hex, right? So that's +6. -5 for shaken, so it's +1.
Right.
Okay. You've got +4 printed value.
Yep.
-5 is -1, and then +3. So you're at +2.
Yep.
I'm at +1. You're at +2. So it's the net is +1 to you.
Yeah, -1 for you, I guess. Or
yeah, -1 on the overall. All right, so then we'll roll, and then we roll terribly on top of it. So I imagine we just surrender.
Well, is that possible on? Oh, we're looking down at the other end of the table here. So what's the difference? That's going to be 6, becomes a 7. It says 3R is what I have on the 1 to 3 chart, right?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the effect is the same. The unit's vaporized.
Yeah. There's nobody left.
Okay. Up, boop. Okay.
All right. Well, that went slightly better than I thought it might do.
Yeah.
All right, and then
Michael, you're rolling like me, so.
Oh boy, I am on a tear for sure. All right. Any other movement?
Yeah, this guy here is going to. He's going to change into column facing this way, right? So that just cost 1 movement point. Then he's going to go, that's going to be 2 movement points.
Yeah.
2.5 movement points, and then 3.5 to change back into line over there. So just like that.
Okay, yep. That seems fair.
So we have something approaching a a line.
Well,
At least
that
for
would
the
be one
moment.
of us then.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And then while we're at it, we'll have this guns unlimber, so I don't forget to not leave them kind of just hanging out there, right?
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, yeah.
Because they couldn't fire anyway, so it's just a matter of them unlimbering. Okay.
Yeah, just gotta mark them as finished. That's the
Yeah.
only trick there.
Good. And then could I have these guns prolong back now since they fired?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Could I
sure.
prolong them into this hex?
I'm trying to think of a reason why that would not be allowed. I can't think of one.
Okay.
Because if you think about it,
Does the slope have any effect? If not,
it
other than
doesn't
that,
actually. No, it really doesn't.
that's the only thing I would
the,
see.
the usual reason why it would be, a problem would be if he'd upcharge you or something. But of course, he can't upcharge you. So
Right, because he's shaken.
exactly.
Yeah.
In other words, there's not an artificial restriction. You can't do that into an enemy zone of control. It's just that bad things could happen to you if you do it into an enemy zone of
Right.
control, or maybe not.
Yeah.
So no, I think you're fine with that.
Cool. All right, then I will mark
I
him
do
as
get
finished.
I get an op chart or a shot.
Oh,
from
that's
there,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do.
Yeah. So I don't know what the odds are. They're probably pretty low. That's probably, and that's I'm
Yeah.
sure is not enough. So
Because you're half,
what?
right? So you're 2 times, and they're musketeers.
Well,
2
actually,
times
it's
4, so
worse.
8.
It's worse than that because unfortunately a 40 is a return fire. But it's only return fire if it's your activation. So I'm sorry. So that return fire only happens for offensive fire. It doesn't happen for op fire or defensive fire. So never mind everything I said.
Okay. That would have made things even more exciting.
It would have been even more exciting. Yeah, they're shooting at you and propelling themselves up the hill with their recoil.
Yep. Yeah, that's even extra special. All right. And then I think everybody else is just going to kind of, well, let's see. The last but not least, I think we will put, just to keep David honest, put this guy in a hook.
Probably the other one.
Yep, a right hook.
Yeah.
Well, when you pull it up, it
know.
always defaults to a left hook. So
Right.
it's obviously somebody who designed this was a boxer.
That must be it.
All right, let me flip my guy back because it got flipped when it all got flipped. Okay, so I think that takes care of sincere.
Okay.
I sincerely hope
marvelous.
so. Yeah,
I sincerely hope so too.
Indeed.
All right. Then, David, it must be your role.
all right, let's see what I can do.
All right, that's another one for
The bad
the
guys.
Austrians. I'm kind of liking this. So now the question is, what and or who do we want to move around? We've kind of taken care of that little section of the battlefield. Let's see, we've got ST. We got Puebla. We got stuff going down other parts of the battlefield. Well, let's see if we can't activate ST.
Okay.
So ST is that Starnberg here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's in command I guess he's in command. Whoops, what happened? He disappeared. He's in command. Who else do we have that is part of ST? There's probably some people in the back.
Nope. Yeah, there's one right here back there that's routed.
But he's routed, so he's no good.
And another one back here is routed.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Nope, those guys are just disordered people. Those are cavalry. Okay. All right. Well, so it looks like there's only 3 units that are part of his, I guess. Okay.
3 active ones, yeah.
Yeah. That are still standing, still willing, or still able to tell the tale.
Right.
All right. So, so this guy's disordered. So let's roll for him to see if he comes out of disorder. A 44.
It's going to be plus 15, so it's going to...
Nah, that's not good enough.
Yeah,
he's a 34.
He's in an enemy zone of control. Yeah. That's the trouble with that one. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that was the only one that was in that less than happy situation. All right, so let's go ahead and then do our firing. So I think we've got 2 shots, at least. This guy here, and I guess then this guy here. Yep. So let's go ahead and David's already mapping out where to fire his 12-pounders.
Good times.
Yeah. Dave's like, hey, I'm not giving up yet. So let's do this one first. So we're going to have the what is it? 3 times, so it's going to be 12. It's going to be a 1-to-1.
Right.
No pluses, no minuses. 95.
There's a hit.
That is a palpable hit.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Here we go. So there's a hit.
Okay. Slightly lighter in the saddle there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is just going to be...
Because what
2 times 3, it's going to be 6. It's going to be 1
so it's a 1-to-2 shot. Yeah. No pluses, no. Oh, 99.
Oh, that's enough for a hit anyway.
Yeah. But no morale check.
Is that on shaking guy?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the extent of my shooting. If I wanted to pull this guy out of the line, he's only able to move half, right?
Yes, that is correct. He also can't do line backup because he's disordered.
So he'd have to turn, and that's going to cost too much, and then he's going to get shot to crap with stuff. So
yeah, not a lot of great solutions for him there, I'm afraid.
Right, and would we do the voluntarily route now, or that had to happen before the firing?
Oh, it will certainly happen before. Well, actually, I say that
because it's like, it's movement, but so I wasn't sure. If
nope, it's during the movement segment.
Wow, so that's one way we could get him out of there.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like you can shoot and scoot.
Shoot and scoot. Now, it will be very hard to get him back since he's half dead. But where he's at right now is less than ideal.
Kind of asking for trouble staying where he is. So, I can,
Okay.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So he would move back 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and you don't get to shoot at him, but that's okay. He's suffered enough. All right, let's put a route marker on him. And then we can delete that good. Okay. Um, now moving somebody else in. That's the tricky part.
Don't understand.
Have I done something terribly wrong?
No, that was muttering to myself. I know I have more pictures. I'm just trying to figure out where in the world they went.
Okay, so this guy's going to turn 1, and then he's going to go here 2, and then he's going to go, I guess then he'd turn again, 3, and then 4.
That'd be 5
5. Why is it 5?
into a zone of control.
Oh, you're right. So I guess I could put him here.
Now, forgive me, but I'm completely lost.
Okay. Why is that?
Where was that guy?
He was here under those guns.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to move him over here to kind of get him in to
I see.
plug that
Okay.
gap.
All right.
In
So
theory.
1, 2, 3. Okay. So.
And then
1, 2, 3,
David's
4,
saying
5.
it
Yeah,
costs
it
4,
would
5 to
definitely
go
be
there.
definitely be 5 to be in that
Yeah,
house. Yeah, that's for sure.
And I don't think it's very safe to be there because I can't. I once again, it's not La Bataille. I'd have my flank hanging out into space. So
yeah, and
yeah.
you could spend another movement point, get shot at again to go
Yeah.
into hook. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Not
will.
very appealing.
I will stay where I'm at and consider myself happy. But I think he'll get at least one opportunity or a fraction of an opportunity shot as I turn, right?
Yes. It would only be 2 strength points times 2, so it'd be 4, so it'd be 1 to 3 twice.
Well, I don't know that it's twice because I only turned once.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. 1 to 3. The interesting. Hold on. Strange as it. He is shooting you in the flank, though. So actually, it wouldn't be 1.
No, he's not shooting me in the flank.
No, he is, because he has, when
I'm
you're doing
here.
op fire. No.
No, that's
you're
that's
right.
where
You're
I'm
right.
at.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's
And
not a
then
flank in either
I
case.
just turned
I'm
1.
sorry.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not a flank anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So 96 is not enough.
Yeah.
Without some pluses.
Yeah.
I don't know of any pluses. So all right.
Hey, I tried.
Well, no, it's a D result, isn't it?
Oh, sure it is. Of course it is. My bad.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me roll for
Yeah.
that.
So disorder check there.
Oh, we're on a special something or other. All right, let's see what it says. That's morale checks. Morale checks. Is there a disorder check or?
Yeah.
Here we go. Movement disorder check. Opportunity fire result 0-4. If SP loss accompanies the dice, add a plus 20. Reroll with a plus 10. Okay, so I guess I reroll with a plus 10.
All right.
And now we get another one, but it's just the straight number, right? You can't get two special.
Yeah, you can't get a special result on a special result. That's
all right. Okay, well, he is then going to be disordered. All of that trouble to get one disordered guy out just to put another disordered guy there.
Oh, great. I like that.
Oh, yes. That's the way the universe works sometimes. All right, well, and then let me see. I'm going to move ST. Where can I move him? Who else is around? That guy's around. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Well, that's probably as good as we can do. Okay, that was my slightly less than exciting one. I think we're back to you rolling the dice, Michael.
Gadzooks.
A 99.
Oh,
well, that pushed the clock forward.
Advance the clock, so we'll do that. And that's a tie, so we got to roll
Yep.
again. Okay, we'll roll again.
And
39.
That's for you.
12 moves the clock also, doesn't it? Yeah, it
Yep.
does.
11 or better.
All right. Yep.
Or 11 or under, I should say. Doesn't.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay. So
Yeah,
what,
another wing, wouldn't it?
Yep, it's a wing.
Yeah, it would if that were important to us. Okay. Well, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised that he didn't make it any worse for us than he did, but I could certainly do ME just to get him the hell out of there.
Yeah, go for it.
Just voluntary route him out of the way. Unless you've got something you'd rather do with somebody on your side.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Man. All right, so Emmy was small enough before, but I think he's literally down to 1 unit now. Because I think the other half of his outfit has already been vaporized. Yeah, good times. All right, so if they want to route these guys, and while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and activate the guns and the grenadiers behind them.
Sure.
2, 3, 4, 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And well, I'm sorry. Of course, actually, he's going to shoot first. Of course. It's only 8.
8 to 10 on this guy. There's no pluses or minuses, so.
Yeah. Unless I want to just shoot at the guns just so I can hit a bigger target.
What guns?
Those guns.
Your cavalry is still there. Remember, you shoot first and
Oh,
you
yeah.
move second.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep. All right. Well, yeah, it's a waste of time, but whatever. There you go.
Well, it's a special something.
0, 2, shift the odds column.
To the right and re-roll. Well,
1 to the right and re-roll.
So now it's a 1 to
we
1?
also need to roll a leader roll. Because it's a 2. It's got the asterisk next to it.
Okay. So where are we at? We're down on the leader loss
Oh,
table?
geez. Yeah, leader loss table. I just rolled a 0. Pick any enemy leader.
All right. Dawn is the one that's worth the most points, right?
I imagine he is. Yeah,
he's
I don't
worth
have
20 if you kill him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well then, yeah. You want me to roll? You want to roll?
You go ahead and roll. You're on a roll.
All right. I'm on a roll. Just
no
missed him.
effect.
Just missed him. That was going to be a very impressive 6-pounder with a
with a right hook.
quite a slice on it. Perfect term. happens.
Well,
All
it's
right.
the butterfly effect.
Is that it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You take the shot, you hit something, which hits something, which hits something. It's like one of those
Right.
Rube
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Goldberg,
right.
you know,
That's almost certainly what it was.
something falls over, that triggers another thing to do something, and next thing you know.
All right. Okay. Okay. I guess that's it. What the hell just happened there?
You do want to flip your leader over to show that he's done his
Well, I
thing.
know I was trying to, but he ended up at the bottom of the stack and I couldn't figure out why. It's very strange. There he is.
A miracle
All right.
happened.
Well, something happened for sure. All right, then. That's all I got.
Okay, whose turn is it to roll the dice now?
Yours, as it happens.
Okay, here we go. Hey, it's another one for you guys.
All right. Got anything you found, David?
What? You kind of left me hanging out here. So.
Oh, you're going to blame the king, huh?
I saw no advantage to sticking around.
True. And I kind of agree. I'm trying to think of what's the best for me here. Well, I'm kind of thinking Kata.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if I route him, Kata got to go with him, right?
Well, why would you route him?
I don't see why
There's
you'd
no
route him.
opportunity fire. There's no
Oh
opportunity
no,
charge.
no, there would be opportunity fire from that hook, but
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not it.
that's
That's
not
not
gonna
enough
be
to keep you
much.
from doing it.
Yeah.
No, I would say just move those guys out of the way. I mean, they'll automatically come undisordered, and then they can
Oh,
line
that's right.
back
They
up
are
if they
under.
want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
so,
So I guess we go disorders first, right? So.
yep. I mean, of course, most of his outfit is probably out of command, but we'll remember that.
Well, most of his guys are still over on the other side of the woods, so
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
So most of
yeah.
his outfit is out of command.
the only other one I think that's 1, 2, 3. So these guys are in command, right? And
Yeah,
these guys are in
right.
command, and then that's
And then those guys are in command.
because they're stacked with Zethan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Actually, you could remove his disorder as well.
yeah. Oops. Shaken. All right.
I mean, you could at the very least get there facing southeast with that stack of guys.
Really? How?
Line back up there for 2, 3, 4 to turn, 5, 6, and then turn to southeast for 7.
And then that disorder check, right?
Yeah, and then a disorder check for the line back up. I mean, you could avoid the line back up, but you'd be facing the wrong way when you got to that hex. But I don't know. Those guys are pretty good, and with Kata there on top of them, I wouldn't be too worried about a disorder check.
Can I move Zeton along with this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Zeton can move during any activation.
Right. Okay. All right. I get that's. So you're saying I do a line back up to here.
Right, because anything else would cause a few more opportunity fires, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the primary advantage of doing that way is
Yeah.
that there's only one op fire, which is going to be, 1 to 1.5 plus 15.
Yep. Here we go. Let's roll for that. And that's nothing.
That's going to be no.
Yep.
No.
All right, so that's 2,
2,
3,
3, 4,
4,
5,
5,
6.
6, 7.
Oh,
Whoops. There you go. 7. Yeah. And, Trescow's thoughtfully guarding your flank.
thoughtfully. And you take the disorder check, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And can Kata keep moving?
Yeah. I mean, you could have left Kata here, right? Well, unless you're doing the
no.
disorder check, in which if you want Kata to help, right, he'd have to stay, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's at the end of movement, so you can't keep moving if.
So you either move and keep moving Kata, but make the disorder check without his influence.
Without his influence.
But if Zeton moves, let's say Zeton moved into that hex before he got there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, if you'd gamed it all out and moved Kata farther, and of course you could move Kata a lot farther because he doesn't have to follow these guys at all.
Right, that's true.
Right, you can move Kata to wherever the hell you want, and then move Zeton up to occupy the hex with him, and be there before he gets there. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that, David.
Yeah,
So we're going to presume that Zeton moved over there before you moved the cavalry.
Exactly.
Zeton moved up. All right, so now he can.
Now, the other thing to remember, of course, is that again, since Zeton's stacked with him, you don't even have to worry about Kata being able to put him in command. Right? You could put Kata all the way over here because he'll be in command next time anyway. That makes sense?
Yeah, but Kata won't be in command. I have to 1, 2, 3. My thought was Kata going to there.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's
yeah,
fine.
that works.
Yeah, that's close enough. Oh no, but he would be in command.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's file away.
No. Even there, he would be in command because you can use the road between leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5 hexes from there when you consider that the road is those 2. So you could put Kata there. Everybody's in command, including Kata and the unit that Zeton stacked with.
Right. All right. Well, this guy's not moving, but that stack's moving to there. Kata's going to there, right? So everybody there is in command. Da, da, da.
And then those guys are activated too.
Right. And let's see, where do I want them then?
Oh, come to
There's
think of it, so are
Shaker.
they.
Is that part of kata? Or is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. Oh, good.
Why don't you roll for his disorder recovery?
But they're out of command, but they are activated. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So they would move half.
Well, actually, they weren't out of command because Kata was.
Kata was here.
Oh, he's there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2,
so
3, 4. So just
okay.
falls
Well, he
short.
doesn't pass the motive. All right. So he's
Right.
still half movement. He's out of command.
Now, but this guy wasn't because Zeton was
That's
with
right,
him.
because he was stacked with
So
Zeton.
this
he
guy's
was
out
in
of command, but that guy.
That's right.
Yeah. The one to the left is in
Exactly.
command. The one to the right is out of command.
That's right.
So he's got full movement, right?
Correct.
That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to get them in command because of all the folks in the way. On the other hand, they're half dead and they're shaken. So, what level of urgency is there to get them back in the action?
I did want to get a shot. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I want him all the way to there. Come think of it.
Who, Zeton?
And because I need to open up those. I want to open up the 12-pounders on a shot on this cavalry. Let's see. Kata, that's a kata there. I don't know if I do kata. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not ideal anyway. We do it.
Oh, I think we passed ideal a long time ago.
Actually, here's more what I think I would like to have.
Okay.
I'd like to have that there.
Mm-hmm.
That there.
Ah.
Where did this disordered guy? Let's.
By the way, David, did you roll to see if he recovered from his disorder?
He never did, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Oh, no, he did roll for him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And actually, he doesn't need to roll for him because he
Right, because he
didn't
was
use
stacked
enough
with a
movement
leader,
points.
yeah.
Well, he didn't use enough movement points. Oh, no. It wasn't
No.
movement points. It was the line backup.
Yeah.
But you haven't rolled for him, though, have you?
Well, so David rolled. Oh no, I don't know that he rolled for the line backup, but it doesn't
He
matter.
did it. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's his line backup.
Yeah, he's fine.
okay. But did you roll for this guy?
Yeah,
as
he
part
did.
of
That was the
okay.
0-4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Zero.
Okay.
Where do I want him? So he's only got half movement, right?
Right. But now,
what's his? And
But you could still hit that hex even if he's moved forward one.
oh, okay. No, this is the one I want to hit.
He wants to hit the
Oh well,
cavalry.
then even better.
So he only has to go one.
Yeah.
and not
Yeah,
have to
yeah. If
go
he moves one, then you got a line of shot. You got a line of
Okay.
fire there. No
and
problem.
Then, and where I want, let's see. I think I'm better off with kata about, let's see, one. So he's not, but he is. All right, let's. Yeah. Officers don't block artillery, right?
No.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay. So I moved Zeton. And I moved kata.
All right. Exciting stuff. I think, David, it's your turn to throw some dice.
All right.
Another tie, and this
Boy,
also
we
pushes
are-
the clock
we are-
forward.
Blasting our way through the clock there. All right.
Another tie.
Another tie, but no clock move.
And
And an Austrian activation.
It's one for the Austrians. Okay, so I think we're going to try to. Oh, see, everybody's in just a huge big mess everywhere. Boop, boop, boop. Those guys. Those guys. All right, I need to try to stretch my line here a little bit and see if I can plug this gap. Okay, I think I'm going to try to activate Veed. And Veed's got a couple of people here. Okay, so Veed is out of range of Dawn, so I need to roll to see if he has initiative. And I believe he probably does. He's pretty decent. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move this infantry up 1, 2, and let's put them in a hook. All right. I'm going to activate these grenadiers that are back here as well. Try to move them forward. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 gets them there. Okay. We'll move this cavalry unit 1 forward, and do we have anybody else? Oh, I got more people that are Veeds. So let's see the rest of Veed's people. 1, 2, and this is going to be 1, 2, I guess, gets them there. Yeah.
Did you roll to get him
Oh
undisordered?
no, I haven't.
Actually,
done
it
any
looks
of
like
that.
you got 2 of them that haven't rolled.
Okay, so let's roll for the infantry unit first.
All right.
They
Oh,
are
yeah.
just only merely shaken. I went the full thing here. All right, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
for the
got to see
cavalry
'em
unit.
all.
Yep.
Yep.
44.
It's probably at least a 39 or better, surely.
Don't call me
Yeah.
Shirley.
Well, big building with doctors and patients.
There you go. All right. So they're only shaken. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those people we can bring forward as well a little bit. If I want to risk bringing them forward, I should say. All right. So what do we want to do? I don't want to go over the top of other units. That's generally a bad thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll push. Yeah. Okay, we'll push this guy here and this guy there. They're far enough away that hopefully they won't get into too much trouble. Do I have anybody else? That guy's routed, so he can't do anything. Okay. All right, so I think I've moved all of Veed's people. All right, I'm gonna try to do a charge. 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a charge with this guy here.
All righty then.
So let's see if we can pull it off. 54.
Probably.
-8. I'm pretty sure he made it this time. Yep. Okay. So we are going to go 1, 2, 3. They're the target of the charge. I don't see anybody who can intercept us because you've changed your facing and whatnot. Yeah, so that's my big exciting charge move.
Yep, that all looks good. And so defender morale check at +10, 20, 34. Well, damn fools that they are, they're standing.
All right, so
It won't last long. All right, so it's 7 to 6, or 7 to 5. It's 1 to 1, doesn't matter.
Right.
You've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8, and then I'm going up the hill, so that's going to be a -2.
Well, it's 8 plus 3 for the flank, -2 for the hill, so it's really
okay.
+9 altogether, +9. And then he is -1. So what is that? +10?
10 plus 10.
1 to 1 plus 10. Where's that 0?
If anyone's going to pull it off, here come the Austrians.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, yes.
All right. That is 2 for the attacker, 1 for the defender. Leader check if the defender had a leader, but he doesn't. And then pretty good bet that the attacker is going to roll second.
Well, let's see. My morale is 39, right?
Yeah. And his is 39 plus 14. So, yeah, it's going to be the defender rolling first.
Okay. Go ahead and roll, Dave.
Which, I thought it was 2 for the, or is it 2 for me?
No,
it's 2 for the attacker, 1 for the defender.
Oh, it's 2 for me. Okay. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Let me increase it.
Okay. That's why I was, okay. All right. So let's see. Boom. 77. I probably passed.
That is probably good enough, yeah, because it's like, what, 39, 49, 53. I think that actually is enough, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can pull it off. Is that a morale check or a special result?
No, there is no special result.
Okay. Then they're going to
Not for ends.
They are going to bug out.
I'd take another strength point loss and bug out.
Okay. Well.
Good heavens.
Well, that's what happens when you roll a 0.
Well, yeah. You roll a 0 and then you roll another 0. That doesn't
Yeah,
help matters.
yeah,
Yeah.
multiple
Oy.
zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, it was worth a try. We
Yeah,
thought.
it was, how often do you get to be offensive?
I'm
I mean, I'm
offensive
offensive
frequently.
nearly all the time.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's nuts.
All right. And so that's, let's
That was
see.
the end of Veed's turn then.
That was the end. Yep. So Veed is
Okay.
he's done his Veedy thing.
He's done his VD thing. VD, VD, Vici.
Yep.
So,
So-
okay, wow.
Let me, can I park him somewhere where he's going to be useful? I'm going to put him on that unit just behind.
Oh, sure.
One,
yeah,
two, three,
yeah.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Everyone's still in command-ish.
All right. Well, we're at 2
Probably a
hours.
good
It's
time
10
to
o'clock.
save the game.
I think we should, yeah. And so I'm gonna save a copy here myself. There you go. And boy, I gotta tell you, I don't know how much point there is to continuing. As the attackers, I don't have enough to attack with, and
Yep.
And whatever you do have to attack with, I mean, if these guys here are coming forward, they're coming into a fresh brigade.
no,
of
they're not.
troops.
I mean, they wouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
They're going to keep sliding east and south, but
Right.
it doesn't matter because you'll have plenty of time to rebuild your defenses on top of the hill.
Yeah.
Even if they'll be a little more fragile than they were before, because some of the guns have been wiped out and
Right.
stuff like that. But even so, it's going to take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to get over there. I mean, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. And I can always extend Puebla's line out
Exactly.
further. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just looking at the numbers now, realizing that last hour was really not successful at all.
Yeah. We tried the attack and it didn't work.
Yeah, the damage we inflicted on ourselves was equal to the damage we were inflicting on you, and we couldn't afford that, and we had nothing to continue the attack with. So I think if I'm Frederick here, I punt. And the truth is Frederick's got perfectly adequate cavalry to screen
Oh, yeah.
the army as the rest of the army moves back to the Kaiserstrasse and heads back to Prague.
Yeah.
And frankly, after a day like this, you're probably happy to let them go.
Yeah. There'll be celebrations in Vienna for.
I expect there will. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
otherwise, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's got to just come down to maybe, because otherwise, what would you have to do? You'd have to get all of those troops further over. I think it's just you just don't have enough infantry at this game.
Yes.
You've
and
got
the truth is
lots of
well,
cavalry, and
all
it's
you-
pretty lovely, but you
Yeah.
just don't seem to have enough infantry to really
there's
exploit
not a
it.
lot of infantry, and all you need to do is just look at the loss chart and see how much white space there is on the Prussian loss chart. There's just not very many units.
Yeah.
I mean, the Austrians can pretty well fill their loss chart, but the Prussians just don't have very much, and so they really need to count on taking advantage of their superior quality and getting to set the tone of the attack where the attack's going to be.
Right.
And I don't think we did a very good job of that. and so if we do poorly, which is kind of what the king did, then you shouldn't be surprised if you get about the same result, which
Well,
is kind of an exciting battle there in the middle for a few minutes,
yeah.
and then ultimately pointless.
So is it a
And
case where you, I mean, you just needed to get more of this infantry or whatever over towards this part of the battlefield, right? So you could
Yeah,
keep
absolutely,
funneling in more stuff.
absolutely. And I don't know. I don't know if part of the challenge was I think I let myself get too close before I got far enough over. And then your 12 pounders are wrecking havoc, and then it's awkward, and I've got those guys locked up in front of those Grenzers at the other village,
Right.
which means I've now got commands that are getting torn into pieces. And so they're, most of them aren't even in command anymore
And your
because
Grenzers have actually been a little star of this thing in some ways.
Oh yeah. No, I love my Grenzers.
yeah. And I'll tell you from the Prague game that we've been playing over at John and Albert's, over at John's house, the Grenzers there have been stars too. And eventually they get ground up.
Right.
But oh my gosh, they do a tremendous amount of damage. I know that Matthew is writing up some new Grenzer rules for Lobosits.
Right.
And it sounded like he wasn't really planning on making it a global change. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, do I just not understand how to deal with them, or are they maybe just a tiny bit overpowered?
I don't know that they're overpowered so much as the armies at this time didn't know how to deal with them.
Well, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's certainly, that was Frederick's frustration in this battle.
You see them in particularly the French Revolutionary armies.
Mm-hmm.
The skirmishers are basically saving the French bacon in a lot of cases because nobody knows quite how to, deal with them. The Prussians are still very much this sort of stuff. The Austrians at least had, their Grenzers, but the skirmishers, the tirailleurs, everything else, they make a big difference. And then you start to see, then everyone starts to adapt skirmishers.
Everybody starts
that
having them.
By 1813, every army's got skirmishers.
Right.
And they're fairly effective. But yeah, here, I mean, the only thing that you could try to do, I guess, would be to see if you can't scare them off with your cavalry, because that's the only thing that's really the solid counter to them.
That's kind of the only real weakness they have, is that cavalry will wipe them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's probably something I should have taken more advantage of, and that.
But even then, so say for example, you'd push those skirmishers that are over here out of the way or ground them up or whatever. Now
honestly,
you got to go up onto this hill and attack. All that stuff.
I wouldn't do that. Really, yeah. What probably makes sense is just to have cavalry there so that those Grenzers can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And have the cavalry basically just guarding the right flank so your cavalry can't come do anything.
Yep.
And then just let the infantry march east and then south and then go smashing into Crechor Hill.
Right. Because it looks like the Crechor Hill is kind of the key objective with all those different, it's got to be west of this hex or south of that hex or whatever else. It seems to include that hill.
And then I don't know. I mean, I this is how I often feel after I've played a game, is I just desperately want to get it out and play it solo and just try things and see, what happened there, and can I make something different happen?
Yeah.
I'm really kind of puzzling over the inability of the Prussian left light cavalry to be able to dominate over there. I mean, like I said, in my game where I played solo, I didn't have too much trouble over there. But that obviously that was me playing myself. So two incompetents don't make a right.
Well, and the only other thing I'm thinking is, you really didn't do a lot of artillery attacking.
Truth is,
Um,
artillery does us very little good.
oh,
Our
really?
artillery is nowhere
Oh,
near as effective as yours is.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're right. It would be great, but the truth is, if well, okay, a couple of things. Our artillery is heavily penalized by the fact that they're shooting uphill,
Right,
and so it's not nearly as effective as yours is in the first place.
right,
Secondly, they're so slow to move that that it's really hard to wait for the artillery to move forward enough to be effective.
right.
And that means that you're sitting there under the enemy's guns all that time. It just doesn't seem like a very good trade.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my sense of it.
yeah.
So anyway, that's my sense of that one. I'm not sure what else to say other than uh, it's very hard to find a lot of use for them. Probably, somewhat useful just for keeping your cavalry at a respectful distance,
Yep, definitely.
just because they're big targets and so they're easy to hit. But
The same restraint works on us.
Yeah.
sure, it does, absolutely. But I'm just thinking, what do you use the Prussian cavalry or artillery for? That's all I meant.
Yeah, I don't know because as far as you've got more 12 pounders than I do, but as you say, getting them in some sort of position and then once you start moving anything in now, as David was noting, now that I can't fire,
Yeah,
I've got units in front of it, this,
exactly.
that, everything else. You've kind
Yeah,
of
it's
blocked
just
your
it's
firing lanes.
exactly. So it's just really hard for me to figure out what to do with them. And you'll notice that some of them I didn't even bother bringing forward, especially like the howitzers and stuff.
Right.
It's like, really, why?
Yeah. Well, and this is, I
Just
think, the difference with because with the Napoleonics, the attacker's rolling guns up, and you got
yep,
the real good combined arms with the guns in
yep,
conjunction with the infantry and the horse guns in
yep,
conjunction with the
yeah.
cavalry.
The
But
guns are more
here,
mobile
yep,
and they're horse guns, and yeah, it's a little different. Now, one thing that's a little unique about this one and Prague too is that really the Prussian artillery is very weak here, and the Austrian artillery is very powerful.
right,
And again, I think that was just because of the elevation difference. In Prague,
yes,
they actually have an explicit elevation difference. It's worked into it. You'll notice the multipliers are closer together there.
right,
Right.
But I don't think that in general, if you look around the series, I don't think that it's like the Prussians have weak guns. It's just that's how they portrayed it in these two battles.
right,
So you might behave differently in a different battlefield, but on this
right,
battlefield with the difficult terrain and kind of being in a rush to want to engage with the enemy before he can set his defenses, it just seemed to me that trading artillery just wasn't going to be useful.
right.
So that was that. I did find many of the rest of my images from my previous game.
Oh, cool. Have you got them to share?
I do. I'm about to share here. There we go. Sounds like you're going there. So this is obviously quite a bit later. Notice what's going on.
Hang on.
I mean,
it didn't come up. Let's try it again.
oh, funny.
Can
I
you
see
give it
the
another shot?
stream, but I don't see anything
Yeah.
appearing.
Really?
Try it again, Michael.
Oh, that's funny. It acted like I told it to stop, which I didn't.
Oh, it was there and then it's disappeared again.
How
Yeah.
weird. I've never had trouble with it before. We'll try it again, this time with feeling.
Now Michael's disconnected himself. That's hilarious. Okay. He rolled a 0 apparently on getting the stream going. Or it could be that his internet is having conniption fits. Well, that is interesting and amusing. And, oh no, that wasn't him texting me. Well, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. What happened? Let's see.
Is he even on McAlpin? Nope, he's not on the Discord.
No.
Nope. So I suspect something's up with his stuff. Oh well, we will have to explore that another day. I'm going to go
Yes,
ahead and
we
pull the
will.
plug on the broadcast. Thanks for
Hi.
everyone for watching, and tune in tomorrow at 5:30 Pacific time for Labatai to Moscow. More exciting adventures, death and destruction. Oh, there you are.
I managed to make it back after my lap. Well, Discord was unhappy with me.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. We figured
And
something must have happened.
Rebooted itself. So yeah, that was not so great. Anyway, so I guess persisting in trying to do the sharing my screen was not what it wanted to do.
You too much feeling.
I think that must be it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, no worries. You want to give it another try, or?
Yes. Let's give it another try. I'm going to drag these over there and see if we can do it again. See if I can crash it one more time.
It says you're playing Sid Meier's Civilization. What are you doing?
Well, I'm playing Sid Meier's Civilization. What's wrong with that?
He's so talented. He can do two things at once. All right, I see a
looks like
picture.
it is sharing now.
Yeah.
Is it sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've moved back in time here. So you can see Austrian reinforcements coming in on the left.
Right.
You can see that definitely the cavalry battle is pushing the Austrians.
For some reason, I can't get it to come up. Okay.
Really?
I'm clicking on it. What am I doing? What's not going? Come on. No. Like if I hover over it and then it says watching stream.
Right.
Click
And then you
to
click on it.
watch.
Don't double click, just click on it once. And then it should pop up. I've got it, so it's working for me.
I don't have where I can.
So what time is this then? Is this after 3 o'clock or?
No, we're backing up.
Ah.
Oh no, I actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but these pictures are not labeled according to time. Let me see if I must have. Oh. Okay. All right. I tell you what. I'm going to stop sharing this because I'm going to share you something else.
Okay.
Because I realized that I'm sharing the version of the pictures that doesn't have all the annotation on it. So let's do this right here. Is it? There we go. All right, we're going to try it again, this time with feeling.
That's what you did last
Maybe
time.
David
a
will
little
even
less
be able to see
feeling.
it. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's all the feeling is the problem.
Exactly. This time, let's do it with logic. All right. Oh, yeah, here we go.
All right. So these are labeled. So this is
But
3 o'clock,
It's like saying I'm watching the stream,
but you can't see it.
but I can't see it.
So, did you click on the middle of the screen where it says watch stream?
You've popped out the player to another window. Where's the other window?
Where's the other window?
There we go. Hey, I found it.
Hey,
Okay.
what a deal. All right. So this is 3 o'clock. And this is the overview at 3 o'clock. We've seen these already.
Right.
And then this is the center 20 minutes later. And I think what you're seeing is there's an awful lot of cavalry battle going on here in the middle of the field.
Right.
The Austrian cavalry are out there trying to interrupt the Prussian attack to give time for the reinforcements to come. This is also 15, 20 hours, but it's on the east. It's a little closer. You can see that the Austrian cavalry is pretty thin. This is Grenzer's overrun in that little village that they were fighting over. Yeah. You can't even read, much less pronounce.
Yeah, I could see why this would have been a tough one for the Austrians, because you've got to do stuff all the way out to the edge of the map. So you can't move that line of troops that's there to go get them into position to hold Kretschur Hill. I can't hear you, Michael.
I can't either. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, David.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, there we
Now
go.
I can
Now
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Weird. So what you start to see here is the Austrians not even bothering to set up a line up on Kretschur.
Right.
And really, as close as the Prussians are, probably makes sense. They probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's what I elected to do. And this is 1540 hours. And you see Bevern has attacked here because he was tired of being under the Austrian guns, and he actually did a fair amount of damage there. And you see holes showing up in the line, and that's not great. And then you see that Colorado starts breaking up his reinforcements to try to plug the gap there and keep this from getting out of control. You see there's a gap there in the line. That's a little awkward, but they're trying to set up a defensive line over here while these guys bring themselves back. And you see by now that the cavalry battle has really gotten to the point where this is the Austrian right-wing cavalry fleeing.
Yeah.
And so this is a little zoomed in closer at 4 o'clock. And you see Bevern is just attacking and attacking and attacking. And then you see that you continue having retreats on the Austrian right as they come back to try to get to where this defensive line is. Now we've got Colorado's forces in pretty good shape now to be able to contribute. You get this Austria or Prussian cavalry unit out in the middle of all this, kind of awkward. And then this is an overview at 1640 hours. And so, I mean, just look at this mess over here on the Austrian right, right? And you see how tall those stacks are? That's because there are lots of markers on them,
Right.
which is,
Yeah.
of course, not good news, right? And then there's Zeton's guys way back in the distance. And so we continue on to 1640 hours, and Austrians are still trying to get this closed.
Right.
This is the right flank, the east side, as the Austrians are furiously trying to form up, and Zeton's trying to chase them. Oh, I guess I took a picture of the loss chart. There we go. All right, so Colorado's on the move now and really starting to seal up the gap over here. Looking better, and Bevern's running out of men.
Right.
And I love this folded over index card
Yeah.
idea. I do this. I do this all the time because it's so easy to forget,
Right.
especially when you're playing solo. So definitely, it's starting to get close now. And 1740. Now you see the Austrians have totally formed up their line on the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a little bit of chaos in the middle still. And then the right is this battered cavalry.
Yeah.
It's a close-up view.
Well, now it looks like they've punched through that other line.
Yeah, so the middle, we've got trouble still here.
Right.
This is at 6 o'clock, so 1800. And yet the Austrians still have plenty of troops feeding in.
Right.
But again, think about these guys have been marching on, and it's 6 o'clock, and that's where they are.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess that scenario is, I couldn't do what I did.
I think that's true.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
with the reinforcements coming in that way.
Exactly.
In fact, I don't even know how the Austrians are supposed to hold Kretcher Hill, which is what they did
achieve
historically.
what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and it does make me think that you simply correctly perceived what was going on and started moving faster than Dawn actually did. That's the only thing I can figure.
Well, but Dawn
Well,
actually held Kretcher Hill.
No. What I'm saying?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I take.
I mean,
your
historically,
Right.
that's where I put the line
Right.
was historically where the Austrians had the line. So I didn't do
Exactly.
anything that was terribly clever.
And yet somehow, I mean, these guys were only coming on the board late, so I'm not sure what the problem was.
Well, unless
Interesting.
it's something to do with the way that scenario is written, where
Right.
the units that are coming in late, you would put them in. So the units that are on the map, you've got to march
Like
them to Kretcher Hill.
Moving
and
the
then-
whole line
and then
to
the
the right
exactly, instead of just the cavalry.
That might be it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And so there's a close-up of the west, where again, other than that problem in the middle, we've kind of got the line sealed up. And now it's 6:20, and the center continues being exciting.
Right.
And then at 6:20, that's the overview. And then here's where it all happens.
Oh my gosh.
This was the 1840 turn. This was before the rally phase of the turn. So all of Zeton's guys charge,
Wow.
and you can see the result. Like, I think there was 2 of the defender hexes were
Yeah.
able to stand.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them routed.
Yeah. That's pretty much game over.
And yeah, and at that point it was like, okay, uncle,
Yeah.
just you can't do any better than that. And the Prussians are still grinding away there in the middle. And then I think that's the overview. Oh, I see. This is the overview before that charge,
Right.
right? And then
There it is after the charge.
and that's
Yeah.
after the rally phase. So a lot of them kept running,
Yeah.
and so that was when I decided to call it done. And you can see why, because oh my gosh,
The Austrians were at plus
Plus
25.
25. Yeah.
plus 25 and backed into a corner, and their flank was gone, and now
Yeah.
Zeton's cavalry are loose in the rear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, never mind. So anyway, just wanted to, but you bring up a really good question. How in the world could you get to Crutcher Hill except maybe by sliding the whole line over a little bit at a time instead of counting on reinforcements coming on?
Yeah, it depends on what you've got on the map, but you would use, the Austrian cavalry that's kind of in the center, like I did. I put those guys out in the center. That's Sir Berloni's command,
Yep, absolutely.
and basically they took, they absorbed all of your cavalry stuff to give my infantry time to get to Crutcher Hill.
Right.
So I
Right.
imagine that the guys that you had that started on the map, they're on the, I guess it would be the western side of the central map. They're the ones that I was marching post haste towards Crutcher Hill. That's probably Stauenberg's and Veid's commands.
Right.
And so those were the guys that I got to Crutcher Hill. And then Puebla and Sincere, they're coming in as reinforcements. Then I moved. Then they ended up between Crutcher Hill and the other hill,
Right.
kind of a thing. So everybody just kind of made a line.
But I think about it, and again, I don't know exactly how it happened, and it's obviously distant memory. And of course, I didn't try to take advantage of the woods the way you did.
Oh, you absolutely have to. Yeah.
Oh no, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. You have to make it too hard for Zeton to get by.
Yep.
But definitely the Austrian right was in a lot worse shape here.
Oh, to be sure. To be sure.
And but like I said, I'm not sure exactly how that came to pass. But anyway, it does make me just want to put it back on the table and try it again, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, now I've seen another way it can happen. So now what?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's half the fun of these is thinking about it.
It
I was
sure
talking.
is.
We're playing this Moscow game, and
Yeah.
and one of the things that Brendan and I were talking about was, hey, after we're done with this, wouldn't it be fun to switch sides and have the other team play the Russians and we play the French and just kind of,
Absolutely.
that sounds like fun. We haven't. It's I do that sometimes with the play testing where I will, I'll play the Austrians and then, Jim's got the French and then we'll switch
Right.
roles, kind of stuff to see, okay, well, this is how you did it. We've learned, we've
Yeah.
played this scenario. Now let me
Right.
try stuff. And okay, then we switch back again. And so it does make for fun to kind of say, okay, I saw what he did. Let's see if I can do
Right.
something better, kind of a
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I, in that Prague game, I just desperately want to just try charging right up into the face of the Austrian army instead of doing the whole big march around the edge. But of course, it's one of those things that probably would be such a bloodbath that I wouldn't ask someone else to play that with me. Because it might not be very much fun. But on the other hand, I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
So
Well, as it is, it's even with that big long march. I mean, did you guys do the whole thing from the crack of dawn so that the Austrians had to move all their stuff
No.
over, or did you
No.
basically do the same scenario, a similar scenario to what we did?
Well, so actually, what's interesting about that is I don't think we started the early one. I think we started with the marches in progress.
Okay.
And what we noticed, which was really kind of nice, is that John turned and moved a bunch of Austrians over there to the east to go, create a flank, right?
Right.
And by golly, by the beginning of the morning battle scenario that we played,
Yeah.
he basically had troops in about the same places as the starting setup of that scenario.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that
Well, that's
and
good.
that was
That's the way it should
yeah,
be. Yeah.
it is the way it should be. But and that's why I'm kind of puzzling over this scenario, right? Where I was having trouble getting, but maybe I just did it badly. I don't know. I was having trouble getting the Austrians far enough east. So that's where I'm curious to try it again and see, can I get the Austrians far enough east if I play with that 2-map scenario,
Well,
given when.
yeah, no, but what the other thing is, could you guys have marched the Prussians further east so that instead of just having Zieten's 2 brigades hit Kretschor, you could have those guys sweep further east of Kretschor.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you would be
Yes.
coming in instead of
Yes.
this sort of oblique march that you were doing.
Yes.
Just move the whole army because you're on the Kaiserstrasse.
Yep.
So just jog east another
Yeah.
10 hexes and then turn south and make your attack.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
that's
think.
what
I
I
don't
was
think.
when I was looking at the pictures there. I noticed it seemed like there was a much higher concentration of the Prussians further east
Yeah. Yeah.
than what
I
we
think.
started with.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that may have happened is the Prussians may have had additional mobility that they wouldn't have had otherwise because of I may have misinterpreted some of the sunken roads. But yeah, I just don't think we did a very good job of focusing the attack at a place. I think we kind of got drawn into an attack before we were really ready for it, and I think that's why it ended up petering out.
Yeah, this is it's interesting to see how you've got to try to organize it where you've got these one thing goes in and then the next thing goes in and then you got to have something else go in and you've got to have something else.
Well, and I think this is a battle where really everything needs to go right for the Prussians.
Yes, I concur.
Just think the odds are stacked against you anyway, so you need to really, the pressure is really on the Prussians to get everything right. Yeah. And I don't think we did a very good job with that. So the results, I think, are unsurprising.
Well, I did my best to roll terribly.
Oh, wow.
And I succeeded in many, many, many cases. So I particularly like the opportunity fire that never hit anything. That was a great series of attacks where you're marching
but then the
right
defensive fire then shredded the guys.
The defensive fire
So,
equalized things a little bit. So if there was a chance to roll badly, I certainly achieved it. So, well, cool.
That is how it works.
Well, so you guys what do you guys want to do? Do you want to leap over to Zorndorf, or do you want to? I mean, if it's improbable anything's going to happen, or you want to just finish up this turn? So,
I mean, I go either way. I don't know that we're going to get much more out of this.
I don't think we're. I kind of agree. We have nothing left to push the attack in the center. We're stalled everywhere else. So it's like, yeah, this is going to be.
It's going to be.
I mean, well, if you think about it, what's happened already? We've disengaged at the primary point of attack. So really, what's going to happen for the rest of the turn? Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it makes any sense to continue at this point, because I think at this point the king recognizes this was a bad choice.
Yeah. Well, this is why there's good ground, and you want to hold the good ground, I guess. So.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. And obviously, the king did not know how badly outnumbered he was. So, and he was, deluded into thinking he was hitting the side of the Austrian army instead of the front of it.
Right.
So, this was a day that was not going to go well for him.
Yeah. Well, very good.
So yeah, what I suppose we should probably do is take a look at the Zorndorf scenarios, and I mean, if that makes sense for our next
Sure.
activity.
Sure.
Well, I don't know anything about the battle, but
Oh.
I'm sure it's probably another decent game, being that all these bar games seem to be pretty pretty accurate and pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be pretty similar in the sense that the map actually looks very similar. I mean, it's definitely the same style and the same color, even.
Right.
It's also 3 maps. I think there are more units because the Prussians are certainly bigger. The Russians have got a main body and then what they call the observation corps. The observation corps is kind of lousy. There are some special rules.
So this is against some Russians?
Yeah, it's against the Russians. So we're in Prussian territory. The Russians have invaded Prussia, and it's a very hot day. And Frederick did his usual flank march routine, and the Russians are turned around facing them. But the Russians are in an interesting position because they've got some really broken terrain to their right. They've got a lot of broken terrain behind them because I think they were really facing the other way previously.
Right.
And when the Prussians came around the back, they just kind of turned in place. But now they're really not in great defensive terrain anymore. And the Prussians come in. The Prussians are excellent. The Russians get an automatic -10 anytime that they're defending. So like a defender morale check, they always get a -10.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
again, -10's good.
Oh, it's good. Oh, okay. I'm used
Right.
to the other way.
They
Okay.
don't get the -10 when they're attacking. They
Right.
get -10 when they're defending. So they call that the tenacious Russian rule.
Okay.
So that I mean, I like it. It's thematically sort of appropriate, right?
Right.
That's the one thing that it evens the odds. It also means that the Russians are they're not going to be crazy, right? You're not going to counterattack very much
Yeah.
because your primary advantage is making him attack you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. I suppose what we should probably do is take a look at the battle, download and take a look at the scenarios and see which one makes sense, and then how we might divide up one side or the other.
Sure.
Is the full stuff for that online?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but for the same reason it was for this one, right? Because it all had to be redone for 3rd edition rules. So yeah, everything you should need should be there.
Cool.
And then maybe we can just, message a little bit over the course of the week and figure out if we got any ideas about which one we'd like to do or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds like fun.
Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.